Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel, AmusedJester. My name is Junior, and today we are finally gonna go ahead and unbox and review the Mondo's 1/6 scale Mummra. This has been with me for a few months, and it's just been waiting for me to open and unbox. And oh my God, this is beautiful. So it looks like Mummra is framed as if he was entering or exiting his what do you call it, whatever his den of evil is. And then you have Mutra over here. So man, and this is not just print, it's you know what, it does look like the way they did with Lionel, where has this very nice sheen, unlike with Masters of the Universe, where it's almost looks like painted or penciled in. This is kind of like, man, it's beautiful though. Beautiful artwork. It definitely needs to be framed. It's kind of a shame that it does have some dings. There's some ding here. The biggest one is the one in the bottom, but I'm not gonna go through. I know that if I were to put a complaint with Mondo, they will just send me a new one, but I'm okay. I'm really quite easy to please when it comes to collecting. It all has to do with the product and less so than with the packaging. The thing of it is, when it comes to Mondo, one of the things that I have now considered only with Mondo is the front, because they do such a great work on the artwork that it's frameable, and you can literally frame this as a piece of artwork on your wall, because it really does display well, and they know that and they think about that. That's why when you open it up, you don't see anything else in the artwork or in the box except the artwork and then this one logo. That's it. Frameable. You don't see any kind of fonts or lettering or anything like that. So I mean, you don't really need it, right? So why even mess it up? So, and then here is the figure itself. Now, I will say I've never really considered framing the insert artwork. Now, the way they do it is the front is always been artwork, and then this side is always a photography of the product. I've never really displayed this in frame, because why? I already have this. It's the artwork that's more interesting. However, this does show the possibility of what the product can look like under perfect lighting conditions, dioramas, and everything. This is just another proof of the ultimate display function of the toy if it's been handled by a professional, which I am not. So I do appreciate that. I'm just gonna cut that out and then toss the box, and I'll save the front. But yeah, there it is out. Let me unbox it and everything. Maybe I'll do a time lapse on the unboxing. Yeah, I'll do that. All right, so there it is, out of packaging. I've gone ahead and did a time lapse on that one, as you can see. And I did play with the back and everything. So a few things of interest. I was quite surprised to see this. This is the map of Third Earth, I suppose. It's not a high res or anything impressive. It's just an interesting afterthought to see that I didn't expect. So that's kind of interesting to see. Okay, upon opening this, there are a few wow moments when I first saw it. So this is just, I don't know. It's just, I know it's there. I knew it was coming, but to hold it, the way they constructed it, the construction of it, the way it looks, I hope it's going to be sturdy because it is transparent plastic and clear plastic. So we know sometimes they break easily. But man, oh man, when you're holding this, it is very, very impressive. It's gonna be fairly heavy too. I'm wondering if the figure is able to be holding it properly. And there's gonna be two of those, of course, because they're gonna connect. This is the one of the blades. It's got some nice detail and everything. Nice paint job on the actual blade, not so much on the guard. I think it's there, but it's just plasticky is what I would use. There is there because I can see some sheen going on. Man, I need to get better lighting because I think the lighting is kind of messing it up. Some nice sculptural details though. Look. If I can get that in there. So I'm trying to, because I'm really impressed with how small the detail is in that sword, and I'm trying to get a proper zoom in on that. And I would assume that these are the unlit blades that kind of corresponds to this one. So if you don't want it lit, then this is, or inflamed, then this is the one that you use. And I'm assuming that these two then are, they're kind of keyed in, as you can see. So this can only go this way. And then I think you should be able to use this as swords by themselves. And this one goes in. See, it's not like you can plug it in here. I don't think it will work. It's not the right key. It only plugs in this way. Like so. There's got to be something else that plugs in between. In between these two to connect it, right? I don't remember seeing it though. Interesting. Or is it supposed to be held as... I thought it was supposed to be able to connect together. And wouldn't that be a reason why there's a second connect port here? I am learning this as I go. Learning it as I go. And I haven't seen a full review of this thing, so I don't know what's going on. The hands. Okay. I feel like they have paint on the hands this time. Am I wrong? I mean, of course, the fingernails have paint, but it feels like the hands have some paint on them. Either that or there's a lot of detail in it that's just producing a lot of good shadows. Maybe, I don't know. It just feels much better than the previous hands. Okay, this one. Maybe it's for holding something rather than gripping the sword. And I'm assuming these are used for gripping the sword. Let's just put it on like so. I'm afraid of paint rub at this point because I know this is painted and everything, and the hands feels like it's painted, but I feel like it's okay. Oh, look at that. It's very, very nice grip. I forgot to... Yeah, I'm so afraid of paint rub at this point. Because that's kind of what they're known for. And I can see there's already a paint rub on the inner part right here. Can't see it. And it's not focusing properly. Anyway, yeah, if paint rub will occur in that one. But let's look at the detail in this one. How do I get good lighting? Okay, I think I got it. It's nice paint application here. Off to the snake guard. See, good wash on the actual what's in here? That's kind of confusing. I'm sort of expecting similar like this, a connector of some sort. I'm gonna have to watch a video. Maybe I'm missing something. Here's a dagger. A bit plain. I think there is some sort of dry brushing going on. It's very, very faint, which I suppose would be good because in the scale, see, in the scale, it won't be, you don't want it to be too aggressively washed or dry brushed. But in here, I would have preferred a little bit more like some sort of edging or weathering. Let's see, and then you have this hand that's holding some sort of globe effect. This is separate from the hand, so it's nice. Like if you were able to put light in this one, I think that would look cool as well. Right, that's it for the hand. You have this weird bubble thing that I don't know anything about. The other wow factor is the number of heads that came with this guy. Yes, of course, it was in the marketing and promotional pictures, but I haven't looked at those since I bought it and everything. To see there's like 5 freaking heads that came with this is, yeah, just mind-boggling. So you have this head over here. Look at all that craggy feature. Look at the eyes. The choice of paint is amazing. It's one instance where I'm going to be having to showcase all the head portraits that come with this one, and then the teeth. Okay, so that's face 1. While that's up, here's a comparison of face 2. Oh, so less textured, less surface detail. Look at that. But look, you can see the ears in this one. See, look at that, and then look at this part of the jaw. Look, but it's basically the same expression, a different look. This looks amazing, but this is looking the iconic look for Mummra, so I'll probably go with this one. And this is the second head, second expression. Wow, look at that. Asymmetrical positioning of the lips. Right? That's cool. You can kind of see now that it's more simplified how they did the wrinkles on the lips, but trust me, you're only seeing that because I'm blowing it up. So it's more egregious at that point, but like in hand, it's okay. You know, it's like it's so small. Look, the smaller I get, the better it looks. Just the expression is awesome. So since these two have counterparts, so it looks like the majority of the head has the... Wait, this is removable. I did it before. What the heck? Oh. No, maybe this is not removable. This is the reason why I shot that video where I was doing the fast. I was trying to see. There's I wonder if this is removable now. There's no counterpart for this particular grimace. Because he's smiling here, he's growling here. It would be kind of strange that they did not provide an equivalent. It's stuck. It's stuck in there. So this is only for this one. It's kind of strange they didn't particularly have a secondary face that looks like this if it's going to be stuck in there. Or at least have this one unstuck. Because this is the face that's smiling. That is so weird. And so it only has one of this type of textured head, and it only equals this one. So the rest of it has the, let's say, smooth expression, and then the one on the face and one on the body is this one. Oh, so doesn't this look like this? No, this one has. It's not. If you look at the mouth, this is raised on the right side. This is lowered on the left side, and this is all evened out. So completely different expression. Just very, very subtle change. And maybe the eye? No, the eye is the same. You can even tell on the lower lip it's different. Okay. And then this one. I'm still weirded out. I really want this head. Just a smiling head closed. But it's so weird that this is glued in. And I was gonna say that the connection is one of the weakest thing about the whole thing so far that I've noticed, because if you kind of have to really push it in and know, because look at it comes off easy. And I know it's not seated properly in yet, but the connection is really not the strongest. So is it connected already? No, it comes off easily. And if you look here, there's still a gap. So you need to push that in flushed. See, it's really hard. There, I just felt it squeeze in. Now that's really tight in there. So there is a difference between this helmet and that helmet if you look at the snakes. Right? Snakes is bigger here, this one's smaller. I actually kind of prefer this one, I think. I want him with an open mouth. I don't think I'll display him with the craggly face. This is going to be a long review. It really is. I'm enjoying this. I'm enjoying every piece of this thing. Except replacing the head is a pain. Like a magnet system or a peg in there. I don't understand how they couldn't have designed a better system. It's still loose to the point it's very frustrating. It shouldn't be this frustrating for such a beautiful piece. It's just it just messes the experience up. Yeah, it's very frustrating. Like, why? Because I don't want to force it because it's an expensive. It's not connected here. You hear it. It's kind of like the old sound of vinyl when a joint popped up and you're putting it in. You had that's the sound you're waiting that sound like that. That's what you're listening to. And it's loose. It's not going in. Mondo. This was bad. Really, really bad. Like maybe heating it up. This is ruining my experience, and I don't want to mess with it right now because it's ruining how good this is. And then the fact that I can't remove this one is also infuriating because I want this head sculpt loose. All right, we're gonna bypass that right now because it's kind of ruining the experience for me. So here's Mummra, really nice detail. This is basically a static statue as an accessory, and that's fine. Really, really nice detail and everything. And you saw that if you want to remove it, it's literally just a peg in there. There's no, I don't think it's ever meant for, and be careful about these spikes. I don't think it's ever meant for any kind of articulation. Of course, because it's a round peg, you do have a little bit like that. Look at the spikes. It is colored and everything, and be careful when you're putting it in because it will inflict pain if you pushing it. It's really hard plastic. That experience of putting the head into the helmet is very, very discouraging and disappointing, and it's just kind of put a damper on the review a little bit for me. But let's go on with this. Wow, that's really, really good. Look at that. Look at the detail, man, oh man. And these are wired, these cloth pieces. Even the ones here is wired. Even this one is wired, I think. Yep, even this is wired. Wow. And this is, look at that. Look at that. So you're not going to mess up the pattern that they have here in the skirt. Look at that. No way. Is this designed to be this crinkled? I feel like it is because it adds to it. Now that's pretty good. This is wired. Apologies for the movement. Wow. Well, look at that. This is wired here on the outside, and that's it. Oh wait, there's like spines in it that's wired. This is really good cape. This is a really good cape. Strong enough wire. Can it? Yep. Look at that. Yeah, very good cape design. And then this, look at that. It's kind of like a tassel looking thing. Articulation. Oh, there you go. The popping helmet. And then I'm surprised. This is another wow. It's like how, look at how small that ball peg is. So I feel like they could have maybe lengthened this, make this bigger, because this will, just look at how small that connection is. That will pop off easy. Look, I mean, it is easy to pop off. I wonder if it's too easy. And look, by removing that thing, you have this. Oh, like it's burned through. The graphics is blurry and all, but if it has a feeling of a raw, burned, stamped onto his flesh is what I'm feeling. Some washing going on over there. So yeah, that's pretty cool too. And the head, oh my god, what am I gonna do with this head? Oops. I already have a paint rub over here in the body. I'm not going to use that as a complaint point. I mean, it's going to happen. See how this thing basically rubs to it. Even if I get a new one, it'll just keep happening, so I'm okay. This is my main complaint though is just the frustration level of putting this on the helmet. I'm not gonna. Okay, so hey, couldn't you just look at how big this helmet is? Couldn't you just put like a peg in there and a peg in here? What's the point of all this complex shape? D and E. What does that stand for? Like maybe only D and E head would fill in here. Here's D. Here's C. An A. And an E. So maybe that's it. Only D and E will fit in here. But I tried this one, right? Oh, this is the one that snapped in. Maybe only D and E will fit in here. Holy crap, no way. This is the D head. So you're telling me this is meant only for the D head? All these faces and you're going to restrict it to a helmet? This is so frustrating. I would just basically customize this and freaking put magnets in it. Like, this is so frustrating. I'm like ready to curse. Yeah, so this fits in. You feel that grip. So this almost feels like only D and E heads will fit in here. Yeah, so now this one you can look. It says A, B, and C. So, okay, so I have A and C. I'm assuming this is B. Look at that. That means this is removable. That means this is removable. But it's so stuck in there. Like, I want to rip this part now. It's just so pissed off. Yeah, there you go. I went ahead and cursed. Yeah, that's the extent of my curse. This is so stupid. Ah! Alright, so this apparently goes into this one. Is it true? Yes, because look, there's a part in here that's not in these two heads. Oh my god. Yeah. Yep, that's it. That's the reason why. No, Mondo. That's so wrong. This is gone to stupid to just irritating. I don't want to deal with that at all. I got this one. I'm going to have to deal with this one. Unfortunately, it seems like the only other head that goes with this one is this craggly face, and I don't want this one. I want to use these other heads on it, which apparently is not slated for it. That's the most stupidest decision I've ever heard of. And Mondo, I know you're not watching this or paying attention. I have no idea why you guys decided to do that. This is such a beautiful piece. And those small decisions just ruins the whole experience. It's like, it's a beautiful figure. I'm holding it. I'm impressed by it. If I'm going to forget about the frustration of the face and how you limited the expression placement. All of these heads should be able to fit on all three helmets. That's one. This should not be stuck in there. It feels like it's stuck in there. I might be wrong, but that's the way it is. And honestly, maybe it is. No, the difference between the two is because this one has the eyepiece. Other than that, it's the same exact helmet. What I would have done is I would have this and here removable, and you just give us the same helmet. All right, let's just concentrate on what and try to get back into a good place with this figure. Okay, articulation on the shoulder, 45 degrees. Like, that whole experience is now basically messing up my appreciation of the figure, because now I'm looking at like nitpicking and getting mad at what else is wrong with this figure. Paint rub, articulation, does it move? You know what I mean? It's just what should have been a good experience, or what should have been maybe a passable experience, now gets worse in my viewpoint. Like, for example, what would have been passable for me, that this does not rotate, it now become a point of frustration, because I can probably force it. It's gonna cause paint rub because it's really, really tight, and people are probably saying you should warm it up. Look, now the head popped off. And this is all this frustration basically came from that replacing the head, the helmet. It's stiff. I'm okay with the stiff. I just almost want to remove that. You can move that much, you're going to start hitting it, and you're probably going to cause paint rub. So for that much of articulation, I think I'll just deal with that. A little bit of side to side. I didn't disclose. So this is going to be my last. I was going to disclose this first before I started reviewing. This was going to be my last Thundercat because it's getting expensive. And the designs of the Chitara somewhat deters me. It's not what I prefer. It's not the height issue. It's just the costume issue is not what I prefer. Usually Mondo and their designers really hit it ballpark for me. The Chitara design I would akin to when I first saw the He-Man design. Their very, very first ones when they was still 160. And it's a modified. It's like, it's not enough of a He-Man classics for me. This is enough of a He-Man classics for me, or Mummra. The Thundercats was very close to not being, but it was still good, because I think with Thundercats you can remove certain parts of the armor to kind of bring it down to the basics. Chitara you can't. It's just completely brand new, and there's no options to bring it back to the basics, and that just turns me off. And I guess I'm kind of fortunate to say that it happened on the second part. I'm kind of glad that they did Lino and Mummra, and they did such a good job of it that I can stop with Lino and Mummra. I was hoping to do the entire Thundercats lineup, to be honest. Panthro, Tigra, Chitara, Wily Cat, and maybe even, and I wasn't sure at this point, maybe even the minions of Mummra, the Slythe and Monkey and everything. But when the price on this one increased and then they added shipping, I said to myself, it depends on the next figure. If the next figure is really, really good, then maybe it will, I can tolerate the increase in price. Because one of the things that really makes the value for Mondo is their level of customer service. I cannot fault their customer service. I believe they set the standards in customer service. They're that good, I think. Good. I'm going to tell you right now, this is it for me. This helmet is so bad. The design is so bad. It just has to go. The idea that you can only put certain heads on the helmets is such a bad idea. I am willing to Dremel the crap out of this and put magnets on this one just so I can attach it with magnets and be done with it. This is bullshit. Sorry for the language. It really, really is. Frustrating does not even come into effect. The idea that you can only put certain heads with certain helmets, not a good decision. All right, I've stepped away from this for 30 minutes just to kind of clear my frustration at the head. If you watch this video, you will see, if you listen at my voice and how I was accepting this, I was receiving this in the initial, It's beautiful. I'm very, very happy. I'm very, very enthusiastic and all that stuff until I start encountering the head. And that just, from there, it just like goes down like crazy. And to give it, a sense of what should I call it? Perspective. I decided to watch 2 or 3 videos on this one. Kyle Peterson, some English guy, and all that stuff. Now, is that indicative of the whole community's opinion of this one? No, but out of 3, right? So I'm not going to watch all the videos that dealt with this one. In all those videos, you'll usually see them at one point handle this thing without the head. And whenever you see a review that's handling a figure without the head, you already know there's an issue in that one. One of the issues is that it is easy to pop off. Not a problem. It's easy also to put on. And then in most of the reviews, all of the reviews, I should say, does not mention the fact that you can only put specific heads for specific helmets. None of them do realize that. When they look at the imprint, it seems to be like their initial impression is like, oh, look, there's a pattern here, there's a pattern here, and all you have to do is put it in. And that's the extent of their review. Until you start actually putting it in and you realize it pops off easily. This being a small joint, easily to pop off, that's not even the issue for me. Because as easy as it is to pop off, it's easy to pop back in and you're done. You know, so I don't know. It was just very something that's easily avoidable, a point of contention or frustration that should have been avoidable, and it just, I don't understand. This is such a beautiful piece. It is a very beautiful piece to look at. It's almost worth the price that you paid for, or I paid for, full price, expensive, because it's massive. It's a beautiful representation of Mummra. Look at that. And this, I will let you guys decide on the tone of my review from how it went to how it developed. From which part of the review it started to degrade, to determine whether it will be something that you agree with or something that you will deter you from buying it and everything. I wouldn't. It's still a beautiful piece. Honestly, you're not going to be playing with it. You're not going to be handling it. You're going to be just posing it. So maybe the fact that this pops off easily, maybe it is just fine for everybody to, like, okay, for example, let's pop that off. Let's pretend we want this one with this helmet, which does not fit, right? This is not the right head for this one. Let's just pretend. We'll just make sure this is somewhat secure in that body. Pose him. And we'll be happy with the fact that we can just put this in there and we're done. And we're posed. And we'll leave it like that. And in that case, perfect. There's nothing else. You don't need anything else. And you bypass the frustration. Don't even try securing this helmet on this head. Let's just accept the fact that this just basically sits like that and you're done. All right. Just if you do that and you bypass all that frustration and all that stress, and it should be easy, and it should be a much more pleasant experience than you would get trying to make that helmet fit. In that case, then yes, right? So what would I say? For the price that you paid for, this is a beautiful, beautiful piece. I feel like they've accomplished what they set out to do. It's visually stunning. Not a lot of articulation, but we know that with Mondo, not a lot of range. The thing with Mondo is, like, you think it should have a lot of range because it has all these articulation points, but the way it's sculpted, it does not lend to a lot of articulation range. To being able to get these beautiful, massive muscle pieces with these veins and everything, it does not lend itself to movement of articulation because it doesn't have the right shape that conforms to the shape of the bicep cut. Maybe if you guys want to deal with your $350 figure and dunk it in hot water and loosen up all those connections, then you'll have a much better range of articulation than I have. If you're a Thundercats fan, if you already have Lino, you want to get this one. You really do. Aside from all the frustrations I received, this is still a beautiful figure with a lot of accessories included in it. So that's it for my review of Mondo. I want to cut it short at this point. I've pretty much said what I needed to do. Thank you for watching. I hope to see you guys in my next review. Bye.